Hey folks, it's Wee Wednesday, but before I get started on the Wee Wednesday video, which is going to be this little thing, I'm going to use it to open this package that I just got. So today's video is an unboxing and a review all in one. So let's get this bag cut open, because I figured there's just one thing in here, and yep, just one thing in here. And what do we got in a box this size? Well, let's open it up and find out. It's a fixed blade, and it's the brother knife, or one of the brother knives. This is the F002. And when I saw this, I looked at the handle and I saw that it was nicely rounded in the pictures, and I figured this might actually make a half-decent fixed blade. And now when I put it in my hand, it just fits my hand. My hands are large, right on the borderline of extra large. So if you've got extra large hands, no, this isn't for you. Unless you're always going to use that forward choil, and then you get room back here. But even that forward choil is not the biggest. But just fits my hand. Yeah, that grip's okay too. What we've got is a high saber grind. So that's a high flat grind. Nice ramp here for the jimping. A little bit of a drop point. 440C steel. And a Kydex sheath. So, hey, yeah, we'll be reviewing that in the future. I thought that was pretty cool. So that's the unboxing part. What is the review? Well, the review is this knife. This is a StatGear. So for Wee Wednesday, we're looking at a Samurai, the StatGear Samurai. I'll let you see a close-up picture of this. So the blade looks sort of like a samurai blade. It's a tanto. Flat grind, a saber grind. This also has 440C stainless steel. We've got steel liners and aluminum colored handle scales. There's a pocket clip. There's a hole back here that you could use for a lanyard or a keychain attachment. There's a thumb stud. And yeah, it's just a wee little knife. So stick around for the full review of the StatGear Samurai blade coming at you right now. Okay, it really is a very tiny little knife. That blade shape really does look like a samurai kind of blade. It's upswept, so it's got that bit of back curve to it. And it's a nice sharp little knife. You've got some Chinese characters there. I'm not going to pretend to know what those say. And on the other side here, it says SG, that's for StatGear with a circle, and then 440C. You got a nice pocket clip right there, a single screw holding that in. And then you can see the liners here, a nice stop pin right there. And there's the back pin for the open pillar construction. And there's the lockup. Lockup is exactly what you want on a brand new liner lock to be right there. I'll show you better close-up with that. And then this red part's aluminum, and it comes in 6 different colors. You get this in a gunmetal gray, a black, a blue, pretty brilliant blue, a bronze color, a purple, and red. Right now, the black and the red are easy to get at Amazon.com, and the other colors are low in stock, although all the other colors, when I last checked, were available. This is a $20 knife at Amazon.com. That's the United States Amazon. The other places I found it much more expensive. In Canada, it's $36 at Amazon.ca, and then they charge you another $6.50 for shipping. So, that's $42.54 or something like that. $42.54 for this knife in Canadian dollars when it's only $20 in the US. So they won't ship it straight to Canada. So if you know somebody in the States and you want one of these, yeah, get them to buy it and then mail it to you. You're going to save some coin. We've got a thumb stud, which is kind of odd. So the steel has to come up on the spine of the blade right there. And it screws in on one side, the right side only. But even then, you can't just get your thumb behind here and open the knife easily. it's kind of awkward, you know, and it's two-handed because you can't, I was never able to do it with just one hand like that. I just can't. So I've used my thumbnail and I open it that way most of the time. So since they want to hide the blade, that's the way to do it. If they didn't hide the blade inside, then they'd have to have the blade come down a little bit, and then they could put a nail nick on it, but they can't put a nail nick on it if they want to keep this blade shaped the way it is. So that's how they accomplished what they wanted to do with that. And yeah, it's a bit awkward, but hey, it's just a tiny little knife. It's not a self-defense blade or anything, nothing you need to open up in a super hurry. 440C steel is a good steel. It's Rockwell in the high 50s, like 58, 59, something like that most of the time. That's good. And, you know, it kind of looks cool. This is a cool factor kind of knife. Let's talk about the pocket clip. The pocket clip is super functional. So, yeah, if you want to wear it in your pants pocket like another knife, yeah, you just put it in like that and it sits there. And nobody's going to know that you've got something so tiny in your pocket. But for the most part, I would just stick it in here and it's gone. So if I was to carry this, I'd take the pocket clip off and never, ever see it again. So it'd either be loose carry in this kind of coin pocket, or I'd put some kind of loop through here. Since it's so long, you're not going to be able to put a split key ring in there unless it's a pretty big one, you know, to get all the way around, because you don't have a lot of radius to work with right there. So you can put in a big key ring, or you can put in a small piece of paracord and then a key ring or something and carry it on a keychain that way. That's probably how I would carry it the most. So far, I've just been carrying it dropped in my pocket, carrying it around and testing it and using it that way. So on the show side here, we've got that sort of hash pattern in the steel, in the aluminum actually, and that looks pretty good. You don't need a proprietary screwdriver. That is a Torx in there on the inside. It's a T4 screw. So that's a T4 screw, and so is this one back here. That's a T4 screw hiding behind this pocket clip. And the pocket clip's a T6. I don't like T4 screws. They're so small that you have to have a really good driver. So if you've got screwdrivers that are kind of marginal, they're not the best screwdrivers, you're probably going to eat up this screw and just strip it out right away, because these screws aren't very hard. So there's a problem with this. I couldn't take it apart. And that's because it's a free spinning pivot, and it's really hard to get that side to stop moving. You can't just put pressure on with your thumb. So I didn't even take it all the way apart. But you can see on this side that it's a phosphor bronze washers in there. So I'll say that while you can see it. So yeah, I'm not going to take it apart. You can drip a little bit of oil in there on that side, and you know, if you want to lube it up a little bit. I tried taking these apart, and you have to put it in a vise and then do it on both ends at the same time. And I don't have two T4 screwdrivers, so yeah, I couldn't take it apart. So it is what it is. I would not recommend you trying to take this apart anyway, unless you had to do some maintenance on it. If you get it and you just, you know, want to see how it works and stuff, yeah, don't try to take it apart. It's just not recommended, at least not in my books. So let's zoom down on the table here, and let's see if I can give you all the dimensions. Cutting edge, 5.2 centimeters, that's 2 inches. Blade length, just a little longer, 5.34 centimeters, 2.1 inches. The blade thickness is 1.8 millimeters, that's 0.071 inches. The blade depth, that's 1 centimeter right there, 0.4 of an inch. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, well, for this tininess of a knife, this tiny blade, it's a little thick. It's 0.59 millimeters. I would like it to be under 0.5 millimeter thick right there. That's 0.23 inches. Grind angle, well, I wasn't able to measure it perfectly because I couldn't clamp this on the system. Let's assume my fingers are the clamps. So I clamp it on, and then I don't have access to a good angle to get to it with my tools. Of course, my clamps are thinner than my fingers, but you get the picture. To measure that, I need to get a stone that slides across And that means I can't sharpen it on my guided sharpening system either. I got to sharpen it by hand with stones or on rods, however I want to sharpen it, other than through my guided system like my TS Prof or my Hapstone or something. Okay, so that covers all that stuff. Now let's go back to the handle. The handle length, so the front of the handle to the end of this round part here, 6.9 centimeters, that's 2.7 inches. The grip area is, take away that circle, so just the square zone here, rectangle zone, 6.4 centimeters, 2.5 inches. The handle thickness, not counting this pocket clip, is 8.4 millimeters, that's 1/3 of an inch. The handle depth is 1.15 centimeters, that's 0.45 of an inch. And then the total length of this knife open is 12.2 centimeters, that's 4.8 inches. It weighs 28 grams, 0.95 of an ounce, so just under an ounce. And if you take off the pocket clip, it's about 0.85 of an ounce. How much does this cost? Like I said, $20 US. That's about, with the shipping, $42.50 Canadian. That's just nuts. I couldn't find it on Amazon Germany. I couldn't find it on the Amazon UK site. I found it on the Australian site, but there it's $75.43. $75.43. That's the Australian dollars is fairly close to the Canadian dollars. So 70 Canadian bucks, which is, around 50 US bucks for this? Nah, I don't think so. It's crazy how, America, you guys get knives for so cheap, and so many knives that you get cheap, we have to pay through the nose for. So that's why we like to have family and friends in the States, in the United States, so we can get stuff cheaper. So there you go. So for the price, I don't recommend it unless you can get it for $20. Because if you can't take it apart to do your own maintenance and stuff, that helps to lower the value. The fact that it's kind of awkward to open it, that helps lower the value a little bit. But it's decent steel, and you get a decent amount of edge to cut with, 2 inches. So that's pretty good. Some other pros and cons. I like the way it's got a lot of room here to put a keychain on if you want to. You could put a keychain through behind this pillar pin in there, so it's hanging off this edge. Your sharpness of the blade right here might touch it occasionally, so that's going to dull your blade a little bit. But, better yet, just put something through here. The pocket clip, it holds well, but I would just get rid of it. I don't know anybody who would wear this in their pants using the pocket clip. Also, the fact that it's on with just one screw means, even if you tighten it up all the way, it's going to come a little bit loose like this, and you'll be able to move around. It's touching that ring from that back part there when you do that. So once this video is done, that's coming off, and it's probably staying off forever. If I sell it, I'll mail it along with the knife, but I'm not even going to put it back on. Other pros, it's got good washers. Those are nice little phosphor bronze washers. So I like that they put in good quality washers. That's a good thing. Lockup is solid. There's no blade play up and down, side to side. Good lockup there. Room to wear over. So that's a good thing. I already talked about the sort of con, and that is it's an awkward way to open this knife. I don't know if I could figure out a better way to design that, other than I wish they could taken off a little more material here. Maybe leave the liner where it is, but make the red handle part, the aluminum, come back even further, just to give it a little better access to that thumb stud. So that would have been a change that I'd recommend, just a little better access there. And don't give us a free spinning pivot. That really sucks. I wish they'd make it so that this end, because there's no torque screw there, make it so that it's not free spinning. And if you're going to leave it free spinning, put a Torx head right there so that we can, clamp it in a system and then attack it with 2 screwdrivers, and we can take it apart. If I really desperately wanted to take this apart, I would take a tool and I'd get a notch filed in here and use it like a standard flat screwdriver. And so I could hold it with a flat screwdriver and a Torx and more easily take it apart. if you end up having one of these and you need to do that, that's what I'd recommend. Are you going to scratch up this red or whatever color you get for the aluminum? Probably. You know, it just is what it is. You can't get away from it. So there you go. That's the StatGear Samurai pocket knife. It's a kind of cool tool, and for 20 bucks US, I like having it as part of my wee knife collection. So thanks for watching my unboxing of this knife, and just, you know, to show that. So thanks for watching my unboxing. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb.